Hey, what up? It's your girl China Monet. Miss, I cook, I clean, I fuck, I shut up. Thursday, April 18th, is going down the annual ISUPK under Commanding General Yana's all-black party at the Durham Armory. Doors open at 8 p.m. featuring live music and DJ by Party Boy Ticket. It's the annual concert series, and it's gonna be a movie. I need y'all to pull up or shut up. I shut up. Submissive women in demand too. Dripping out the magnum, pussy ran through. That's why your baby daddy can't stand you. Keep some clothes on, leave them curious. That's why these niggas don't take you serious.
ISUPK presents the 55th annual Passover corsage. Order now. Only $10. The red corsages are for the married sisters only. The white corsages, sisters must complete 6 months in the school. Contact your camp leader now. Order now. Only $10. You must complete the payment. Pre-order your corsages now. Also, the 55th sister to pre-order will win one of these amazing handcrafted leather accessories for your wrist. Click the link in the description below to pre-order your corsages now.
Shalom, Israel. The ISUPK is hosting the Lord's 55th annual Passover with a all-access pass to the lamb slaughter, all-black party, scripture breakdown class, kids party, the Lord's 55th annual Passover, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com, starting with April 17th events with the lamb slaughter at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in North Carolina. Make sure that you get involved. Make sure that you're in the house at 1921 Strickland Road, Clayton, North Carolina. Followed up on April 18th, Thursday, the all-black party. ISUPK concert series in Durham, North Carolina at the Durham Armory. Last year we tore it down, and this year it's gonna be a whole movie. Then Friday we have the kids party with a petting zoo. On top of that, it's going to be held at the Sky Zone Trampoline Park with virtual reality included. Get your all-access pass at ISUPK.com. April 19th in the evening, General Mahaiman's scripture breakdown class. You already know we got the heavy hitter in the building, and it's going to be at the South Square Event Center. Make sure that you're in the house starting at 7 p.m. in Durham, North Carolina. Then April 20th, the moment you've been waiting for, the Lord's 55th annual Passover. Make sure that everybody's in the house, and it's being held at the last Black National Fairgrounds in Pittsboro, North Carolina, starting at 6 p.m. Also housing an actual slave quarters, which you will be able to go and take pictures and video footage in front of it. That's 191 Fairgrounds Road, Pittsboro, North Carolina, April 20th, starting at 6 p.m. with a doors open at 4 p.m. for a brunch. Make sure you're in the house on time. Then April 21st, Sunday, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread at the Haiti Heritage Center, 804 Old Fayetteville Street, Durham, North Carolina. Make sure that you are in the house. If you have not booked your hotel room, there are still a few rooms available at the Millennium Hotel. Check the number. Make sure that you call. Rooms are only available while they last. The Lord's 55th annual Passover, hosted by the ISUPK.
Yeah. What's going on, fam? Commander General Yana, come on in, shot. Yeah. What's going on, fam? Commander General Yana, man, we doing it up on the Black Watch Channel 8 tonight, man. We got a whole squad up in here tonight. We got a whole team. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to General Hazayan up in the building with us, y'all. General Hazayan. I got General Kwabala Ma up in the building, all the way from DC, up in the building, kicking it up in here. I got going down the list. Who's next? Who's next on the list? Kadazal or Kahan?
Captain Mashak, sir.
Captain Mashak, sir.
Here, next on the list, Captain Mashak out of DC. Got us on the hill. Okay. Next after him is who's next after him?
Captain Kahan, sir.
Captain Kahan Thumb Yard up in the building all the way from where you at on the other side of the planet. Where you at, Kahan?
Hey, General, right now I'm in Florida right now, General.
On the south. The Kahan holding it down in Florida. Okay. Also with us, man, special guest out of New York. He's next, right? Special guest out of New York City. Captain Kataza in the building. What's going on?
What up, Cap?
Kataza down here in Philly, even though he's up from New York. And big. Oh, wait, let me get my main man in here. Of course, got to get Officer Marah. Finally, we got Officer Marah on camera. The baddest beach trees you ever found. Hey, big shout out to Captain Katazar and Captain, and of course, General Q for coming in and restructuring up that studio, man, and giving us more cameras, more microphones. They did a hell of a job up in there. Got us rocking and rolling. Boy, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Let's get it on. Let's get it into it. First of all, y'all know, as you may all know, great icon Cicely Tyson passed away this week. Was I believe she was 95, correct?
96, sir.
96. At 96 years old, the Lord allowed her to have a real good, long life. And let me tell you something, if I could, about Cicely Tyson, that a lot of you may have lost the thought of this. And we're gonna know this because tonight we're gonna talk about T.I. as well. We're gonna talk about T.I. and Tiny. We're gonna talk about a lot of the nasty stuff going on in Hollywood. But I wanted to bring in Cicely's story because Cicely Tyson really exemplified how sisters used to be and how we should get back to our sisters, man.
That's right.
Something to you. As you listen to Cicely Tyson's story and you listen to what it is that she's going to bring out, then you should also realize and remember that Cicely Tyson was able to be raised with this level of morals because of the level that black men were on back then. Black men and Western. I think she might be a Benjamite too. Am I right?
Kind of, sir. I believe so.
Because of the spirit and the level that men were like in the past, they were able to raise wonderful daughters like that. And thanks be to the Most High that in the ISUPK, we are raising up daughters in that manner as well. Big shout out to General Muhammad. Led the charge, and so many others. You understand? Just pointing out them two particular generals, but many other brothers who have led that charge and have really hooked things up and really fixed families and put families together. Big shout out to General Q now getting it on as well, all the way from Canada, raising up family, raising up children. You understand? All of that. And so many brothers. And that's how that was done. And the point of this, at least this half of the show, and I'm sure I'm gonna let y'all let the heavy hitters jump in here with me. The first half of this show is I pray that you get the understanding that we could recreate this. We do not have to be whatever they want us to be.
That's right, sir.
We do not have to be that. We do not have to be, filthy, disgusting, lewd-filled drug addicts that do every low life, disgusting, lewd act there is. Now, I'm not accusing nobody. Let me make something else clear. That I'm not saying that anything that we bring out tonight are facts. What we bring out tonight is just speculation at this point. But it's very common in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood is filled with a ton of disgusting things that spill out into the street, aka R. Kelly, aka Jada Will Smith, aka 1,000 other entertainers, man. It is always the drug of choice to go into the negative, man. So, hey, I'm going to turn it over to the hitters, man. Y'all jump up in here. Let's discuss this issue. Let's get it on, y'all.
You would like to play the tape first, or you want to?
Well, I just want, well, since, y'all, it's up to y'all, but I want to say one thing. And I could be wrong on this one. But if I'm not mistaken, Cicely Tyson never did a movie naked. Is that right?
Not that I can recall.
Not that I recall either.
I know when she did Kizzy in Roots, I believe they showed a little bit of nakedness on her, but not, pornographic level nakedness on her. But they tried to show a little bit, I think, of the rape of her in the slave quarters. I'm not sure about. But she attempted very strongly to keep her integrity up. You understand?
Come on.
So let's check it out. We lost Haas. Oh, there you go.
I'm here, General. I'm here.
So let's get it on, y'all. Y'all want to go with the tape first? What y'all feeling, Hebrews, on this?
Tape.
Constant.
Let's get it on.
This tape is a tape she did with that horrible excuse for reporter Gayle King. But it was a very good interview with the sister. And it was very recent, I believe last week or something.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was last week. It was I want to say last week because even Gayle King was saying she didn't know that would have been the last time she knew the sister, apparently. So it's definitely a good interview for anybody who could watch the whole thing. But I'm gonna skip back right here. There's a good part in it where she talk about her young days.
With all these people around her congratulating her. And she said, yes, ever since she was a little girl, she liked to sing and dance.
This one's the perfect gift for the friend who's been getting a little too comfortable during quarantine.
So I've been running with that.
Ain't no sweat.
Are you serious?
She looked damn good for 96.
Debut at 31 in the 1956 film Care of Gold. Shortly after that, she enrolled in an acting school run by Paul Mann, the well-known acting coach. She found herself alone with him after her first class.
He said, excuse me, Miss Tyson, I'd like to talk to you. So I turned around and came back. And before I know it, he pulled me down.
He was touching you and groping you?
Yes. No, what he wanted me to do was something worse than that. I thought about the whole incident when I got home. And
listen, she's 96,
right,
and it's still shaking up today. We show you how precious our daughters is supposed to be.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, Salah.
Come on. So I mean, on your point, the next thing she gonna say, they're gonna tell you how hardcore it hit her and how she carry her whole career because she about to cry and she said it's the first time she ever cried since the incident.
Wow.
Shed a tear about that until this morning. I never shed a tear about that until when I got home. And I never shed a tear about that until this moment.
All these years later, it still affects you that way.
The whole thought that you could go out innocently to achieve something, and it turned out to be something so vulgar and coarse and demeaning to you as a young person. But I made up my mind then that I went there for a reason. And that reason had not changed.
It sounds like a Me Too before we were even calling it Me Too. And some people would say, but why did you go back? And to that you say,
I went back to get what I was told I needed in order to achieve what I wanted. And I think of the many young Black women who go through that and are devastated by it, and it kills their dream. I was not going to let that happen to me.
Through her sheer determination, her talent blossomed and landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder. You got your low-life job, Mr. Sheriff. A 1972 film about a Black sharecropper family.
Bye, Daddy.
That's it.
And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in her calling. And so you're promoting.
If I could jump in, yes, if I could. Like okay, this is way back, the 30s or the 40s, and she experiencing what they put Bill Cosby in jail for, the Harvey Weinstein and all of that. But you ain't heard about them producers. This man do this, and he was a big director at the time. But you ain't hearing nothing about it, and it's showing you how their society, it preys on people and preys on our vulnerability and the lack of protection. Because if this had been another nation that had an embassy, had an ambassador, had somebody like how the Japanese, the Chinese have it, they would have, he would have had to face hell.
Yeah,
he ain't got nobody to go back and say a whole nation behind. Now she got out and muscle up in this thing, and 96 years old, you now start to cry, like not break, but you now able to have a certain amount of closure or express something that happened to you 70 something years ago that you couldn't cry about for 70 years, but now you could cry about it. That's our life. Like we just had to swallow things down and not make a sound until the day before your death. Then you can cry about it.
That's hell.
You know what I mean?
Sounder. A reporter said to you that he felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your older son referring to his father as daddy. I said, do you have children? What do they call you? He said, they call me daddy. And I thought, my God, this man is thinking that we're not human beings.
Oh, you got to pause that one there.
Oh, God.
Now, did you hear what she said? Like that was when sisters' brains was working top notch. They done so much damage to our sisters now. A lot of our sisters can't think on their feet like this, but a lot of them still do. And boy, did she pick up. Like he said, he had a problem with the Black kids calling their father daddy because his kids called that, and here's why: because it raised the emotion in him of the love of a father and a son,
right?
And because of it, it made that Edomite uncomfortable. And brother, that's supposed to mean so much to us. That's supposed to tell us that the weapon of our, like, in other words, if you're fighting a fighter, right? You're in a fight, you and them are in a fight, right? If that fighter is throwing blows, your job is to do what? Throw counter blows.
Right. That's right, sir.
Get the advantage, and then you throw blows. Or to throw blows that they don't see coming. That's how you fight. Now, if the blow that hit that Edomite was a blow because of a family structure, because a father and a loved son, if that hit that Edomite, what the hell should we be doing?
Right.
We should be building up nothing but Black families.
That's right.
We should wipe out We should wipe it out. We should wipe out any idea of the Black family. And remember now, that Edomite did not have a problem with the kid calling her mama, but he had a problem with the kid calling the brother daddy.
Right.
Because that's the part that hit him, which means what? We should never, ever, like the worst thing a Black woman could have ever done was to get rid of her man out of that house.
That's right, sir.
The worst thing, like that's letting you know that's the thing that grinds him. That he got to treat her, that he got to treat a black man and his son like a real human being. And he don't want to think that way because he wants to lynch our son. He wants to kill, especially back then.
Right.
Show you why we shouldn't. Our morals is such an amazing weapon if we use it. It's such an amazing weapon because the higher our morals, the harder it is for these nations to just disregard us as animals and then try to destroy us. And more importantly than that, it makes the Lord happy with us, man.
Right.
It makes the Lord never lied when he was showing us that this is how we should be. That is amazing what she said. We're going to come back to it. Y'all can jump in anytime you're ready.
If I could, General, real fast.
Please, General.
Let me ask you a question, Mashak. What year was that movie made?
I think they said it in the 40s. I had to go back and see. I think it was 40s.
Did she say 1972?
This
last movie.
Her last movie or this one she's referring to?
The one we talking about right now where he was uncomfortable hearing that young brother called his dad.
Hold on. Let me pull it back, sir. Let me pull it right back.
Because if they did, I'm going to bring something out about this here whole thing too.
Count on cancer.
Children, what do they call you?
Proper family.
And I think of the men and a devastating, not going to let that happen to me.
Through her sheer determination, her talent blossomed and landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder. You got your low-life job, Mr. Sheriff. A 1972 film about a...
1972.
Yeah. Now, you remember this here. Remember the time they talking about right here, 1972 when this film came out. This is the time they was really flooding heroin in the ghetto.
Damn!
And flooding heroin in the ghetto and ejecting young brothers coming back from that Vietnam War and having them drugged up. To where now your son can't see a strong brother in the house providing for his house. You understand? That was all part of that plan why he ain't wanted to come out. Why he ain't wanting to see a strong brother on TV taking care of his family, man. It was right around during this time.
Damn.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cold.
If I can give you a story real quick, sir, I'm gonna give you a story about my father. My father was a Vietnam vet, right?
Right.
And I found out he did certain things in the military that's blacked out and all that good stuff. He was one of them cats that had clearances and all that stuff. You know what I mean? They used to call him the Black Rambo in the neighborhood. But he told me one story. He said when he came back home from Vietnam, they wanted him to go to a place in PA called Fort Indian Town Gap. But he didn't go. He said because they send you up there, all they did was give you drugs to drug you up. That was the only reason they wanted to send you there. To drug you up, to drug your mind up so you can't function right. He didn't go. He said, I ain't going. You know what I mean? Instead, he came back here, he met my mom, married my mom, and had a family and raised us. He did not go to that 14 town gap because he knew they was trying to drug brothers up in that place.
Damn. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
And they brought it out that movie called Dead Presidents too, sir.
Yeah.
That movie with Chris Tucker and the other young brother.
I think it's Lauren State and that.
Yeah, that's him. Where they brought that out to as well, where he came home was shooting up heroin, was stuck on drugs.
Yeah.
And that was most of the veterans coming home. And not only the veterans, most of the black men in the ghettos, they shooting that heroin up during this time. This is when they really flooded the ghetto, man.
Will show you that even though this is only in 72, he's still in 1972. He told her that he didn't like in that movie the black child calling that his father dad.
It's crazy.
That he didn't like that. That was too much humanity for 1972.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Q.
And if you remember, it's based off of a book or what have you. So why would they be upset? Because that's how it was written in the book or what have you. But the propaganda, you know what I'm saying, in the movies changed it to, demoralize us and to basically separate our families. You understand? The brother's dog runs away. His father gets locked up in prison for stealing food. You understand? And she's left to be a single mother. Okay. I mean, it's ridiculous or what have you that she read the goddamn book. These were required books to read, and she was insulted that he would say such a thing to her. You understand, to take away the value of being a man, and she knew that was his agenda.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Like if I may.
Could I add one quick thing, Kadazai?
General
Q just said, not just the value of being a man, but the value of a man in that household, man, with that family, brother, with that son calling you dad, brother. That's what they don't want. They don't want us to be in these households with our children calling us dad and father and taking care and making right decisions for our families. From then to now is what they still fighting us against.
Yeah.
Slocky Kadazai, I apologize.
No sweats. And just to piggyback off what you said, my biological brother, he just called me recently, and he was asking me for counsel on how to get custody of his children, because he knows that I got custody of my son. I went through a custody battle, and I knew that was going to happen one day, and that's what was probably going to fish him closer to the truth, because it's damn near like there's a spirit in the world that doesn't want a father around their children. Because when I was going through that custody battle outside the ISUPK, nobody was in support. Nobody wanted to help. Nobody gave me any reassurance. Everybody was like, leave him with the mother, do this, do that. Nobody, it was like a war just for me to be in my son's life. Now my brother's going through it. My father went through it. It's why even if you take a look at Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter started over the death of black men, but when you look at the mantra, it says the black woman, the black mother, and the black parent. It doesn't even mention anything about the father or about the couple. Everything is always about separating a black or Hispanic man from his family, whether it's child support or whatever the case may be. And that's because you can't have the structure without a black or Hispanic man being the head of that household.
So true. So true. That's heavy. That's heavy. Go and give us a little bit more. Was y'all done?
What kind?
Hey, I got one more thing, Gino.
Go ahead.
About this whole issue, right? Wasn't this around a time when Nixon was plotting to flood the ghetto with drugs?
Yeah,
was it around this time?
That is exactly that time. That's exactly about that time. You got to get Kahan in here. Y'all know Kahan know these stats.
Right.
You know all these daggone stats.
It's also around the time of the women's liberation movement, the height or the apex of the women liberation and feminist movement when this was happening in the 70s.
So all the movements was going to destroy that black man.
Right.
The feminist movement, that movement, everything was going to wipe us the hell out.
Right.
The dope, the heroin was in there. Everything was going on, and now you see what was in their heart, and you see what she went through, and she was one of the few that had the morals to stay the course.
So, like, General, if I could,
please,
like the scriptures say, how can you spoil the strong man unless you bind him first?
That's right.
Like they use these type of chemical what you would consider the drugs chemical warfare, and then the women with the women's movement, domestic warfare against us, and they bind the strong man. And what you have today, I know we're gonna go into it, the busted challenge and all these different challenges women having other than the challenge of raising a family and securing that household. But that's definitely what has transpired over the years. It's a lot.
That's right. And without a brother in full charge and command, man, it's a recipe for disaster because it takes so many years to raise a child up, and it takes so many years to raise a daughter up to be on the level to actually not turn into a monster with all the propaganda and all the money spent to try to destroy her innocence and destroy her soul.
Right.
So by getting him out of the house or teaching the mother to be a monster, you understand, then you turn around and in essence, you hurt that daughter long before she have a chance to learn how to be a wife, how to be a sister, how to be down with that man, and even to value that brother. It's amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing to me, man. You got more on the video?
Count on one concert.
That's it. And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in.
Hey, he was a journalist.
Count on one concert. Count on one concert. If I could, so that's it. Like he mad about a movie, which show you not real life, you know.
Right.
A movie which show you they know that they could. Okay, the image that we see in media of ourselves, it could change us.
Yeah,
change how we are, everything. You know what I mean? So of course, they want to keep everything that could help black people out of the eyesight and the ears of black people. Because this is a goddamn movie, and the movie is not even based in the 70s or the 60s. The movie is based with sharecroppers.
Right.
Before, so how could that image threaten you today? We was just fresh out of slave. You know, the black man, him being a father, a brother, a son, a husband, is so powerful in our community. It threatens them, even in a movie.
Yes. Yes.
Salakia, sir.
Jump in, y'all. Jump in.
Yes, sir. So I was doing some extracurricular reading based on the fact that you know how they forever showing you all kinds of daggone little snippets before the video that you want to watch. Of course, you know, I'm not promoting this cat or anything like that, but it's a cat named Thomas Sowell or what have you. There was an economist that taught at Cornell or what have you. He's still alive to this day or what have you. And they you know, trying to big up him, I guess, because of course, the, you know, Black History Month and everything like that. And I think those Negroes is like regressing. I saw Black Lives Matter week or what have you. They want to give us a week now, just, you know what I'm saying, so they can make it Black Lives Matter instead of the month. That's how ass backwards they are. It's like it. I had to go the other way with it for 1 second. So this cat, Thomas Sowell, he brings out all the time how the history of the black family being destroyed as it is at this present day was not the common, and it's not the real legacy of how black families existed in America. As we speak, as we know that was the time of sharecropping. And of course, Commander General Yohana tells us all the time that before Martin Luther King and that BS or what have you, we were the most married. You understand? Our families were together. Before that integration BS or what have you, you understand? All the way in the 20s, we wasn't committing suicide because the stock market dumped. You understand? We was together. Yeah, our families were together. That's not, you know, they make it seem like we've been like this forever when it's just a very short amount of time where we've sunken to these levels right here based on the lies that they pushed in and you know, making that comment to her, you know what I'm saying, in reference to as if he got to make it worse than what it was when we were not that. We were the most married. You understand? We stayed together way more and debunking a lot of the garbage in slavery or what have you. The white man didn't rape as many black women as they like to come out with as far as that concerned, because of course you got a mad slave that you didn't rape this wife or what have you. You didn't rape this wife or what have you. He's not going to work. You understand? That was, I have another book that I borrowed from some brothers that donated some books to the school. I still have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring it back, what have you. But I forget what the brother, he donated them in Philly school. It's I think it's on slavery. They mentioned that fact in the book. So I just wanted to bring that out, that's not what they were doing. And that's not how our families were and whatnot. And we should never accept that. You understand that we should not be in the house as we are, as black men, especially. So that was it.
You got more on the video?
Come on, so there's a heavy part you about to see here.
Come on.
And landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder.
You got your low-life job, Mr. Sheriff.
A 1972 film about a black sharecropper family. And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in her calling. And so you're promoting Sounder. A reporter said to you
that he felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your older son referring to his father as daddy. I said, do you have children? What do they call you? He said, they call me daddy. And I thought, my God, this man is thinking that we're not human beings. And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress. So
you got to pause that part for real.
You real as you can be.
Go. You got to pause that part. You got to let her say something on that shit right there.
God.
Like she said she could not afford the luxury of just being an actress. Like once again, that what she just came out her mouth is the problem with black leadership right there.
I don't want gun.
This whole disgusting demonic spirit of selfishness and somebody thinking that they are just, themselves and they ain't got to worry about nothing else. She's telling you right there that she can no longer, that's a luxury.
Right.
Black people cannot afford the luxury of you just who you are, like that clown Charles Barkley.
Yeah, you gave it to him last week, sir.
Most High in Christ. Like black leaders got to understand that you can't afford to just be an actor or an actress. That you're gonna have to carry yourself a certain way. What you say and do has to carry yourself a certain way, and very importantly, you cannot open your damn mouth talking about black people and Latino people and Native Indian people in a way that hurts or harms or disparages them, man.
That's right, sir.
Like that is a rare level of intelligence that I hear among our people, especially among those. And when I say leaders, I don't mean technical leaders over us. I say leaders meaning those that have a platform, those that are famous, those that are known. They're not necessarily in charge of us, but they have influence over the masses of our people because of their fame or fortune or sports ability or whatever it is, or entertainment value or whatever. If you're in that position, you can't just be saying whatever you want to say. And our people should require that from us.
That's right, sir.
Michelle, I got to hear that part one more time before you let that tape run. Just that little part where she said she couldn't afford that. Go ahead. That was amazing. Was y'all
come?
That we're not human beings. And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress, and that I would use my career as my platform.
Namely, you want black people to be seen as human beings.
That's right.
What gives you hope as you sit here today when you're thinking about black women?
Hope is that
and listen, you see how the broad went right into her journalistic mode. No, that shit cut her. It cut her. Go ahead, cuz.
Salagi.
Salagi,
if I could, gentlemen, what you saying is so heavy. It cut Gayle King. Because Gayle King has been involved in predatory journalism for a long time, not just with Kobe Bryant, but with a lot of black men.
That's right.
And what you said earlier about her having an obligation to her race, not just her career, but for her race. And like what the scriptures say, love the Lord thy God with all thy might, all thy soul. Like the talent and the gifts that we have given should be rededicated to the Lord and to his service of his people.
That's right.
And that's why Cicely Tyson is revered as a class act, just not in Hollywood, but among black people because of the integrity that she had. I just want to say that, gentlemen. Salaki.
That was strong.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead, please, Cat.
If I may, and every other nations know this. Like Jackie Chan purposely in his career, when he came over to the West, never played a villain. You understand? Because it's taboo if you play a villain for the so-called, for our oppressor. Like they look at it like you're tainting the image of their people and promoting propaganda of us being criminals. And there's certain films, like for example, they just redid Mulan. They made a live action movie. They took out a character that they felt was a stereotypical character, Mushu, who would have been degrading Asians. Same thing even with what the hell was that other movie with the Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a movie when they played it in Japan that an Asian looked terrible in these parts. They chopped out those scenes that the movie didn't even look right because they know what it means to have a platform and for what you ought to be visually. You understand? Like they take care of their people's image and make sure that it's maintained in the public eye.
Right. If I could, General.
Heavy. Go ahead, General.
If I could, based off of what the two brothers did, just brought out Captain Kahan and Captain Katazai. These are the same people that was during the time of Caiaphas. Caiaphas and them, they knew what was going on in the scriptures, but because of money and power, or the so-called power they got from the oppressor, they turned on the children of Israel. What is going on today? Gayle King did that because she knows she got power and authority, trashing brothers, trashing black men, and she wants to pull back from it. And that's all the journalists, that's all our so-called leaders, whether they political or so-called spiritual, that's all of them. They all do the same exact thing to us.
Right.
To us. That's why the Lord is removing them from their power seat. No matter how much they try, no matter how much they push, the Lord raising up young brothers from the ghetto, and they can't stop it.
Right.
What if they upset about it? They don't like it. They want to shut us down. The Lord not going to shut it down, and the Lord going to destroy y'all for what y'all did and raise us up in His truth, man. It's a horrible thing what they've done to us, and payment got to be made, and the Lord going to make sure that payment going to be made.
Right. Okay.
Most High in Christ. And listen, sir, if it wasn't for you and this truth, man, you held on to something that was precious. And you held and you held and you held tight. Like the scripture said, a threefold cord. You had General Hyman, you had General Mayat. And then everybody else came along with you. And we raised this nation back again, man. And we raised the nation up the way it's supposed to be, man. You understand me? With brothers in the forefront. And we ain't taking this garbage they saying no more, man. What Cicely Tyson said was wonderful what she said. That was something, man, that we got to keep pushing in this truth. And what she said. She said it. You know what I mean? And that was the Lord had to bring that out. You know what I mean? Because if you listen to what she said, that's what we teach in our ISUPK.
That's right.
Like she bringing out, damn right, Doc. Like she bringing out the keys to how you make this thing work. And Most High in Christ, only through the power of Yahushua do we able to do any of these things. And really, it was the strength of all of y'all that got me through these tough times. You know what I'm saying? Because that attack by Satan was to wipe out this truth. And if it wasn't for strong, that's why I love a strong, and don't bring no pussy niggas around me. I'm just being honest. I don't want to smell mafia. I don't want to smell pussy up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't want nothing but hardcore on to the death brothers around me. I don't even want to see you because so many pretended to be that way and they were not. When we needed their strength the most, that was when they was the weakest, man. And when I needed the brotherhood strength the most, the brothers I'm looking at right now, and so many other brothers in this ISUPK, y'all the reason I was strong, and Yahushua is the reason we had this knowledge to carry this thing forward. And it is an absolute, amazingly beautiful, wonderful thing, man. So I thank all of y'all, man, for y'all strength, man. Big shout out to General Muhammad, General Haas, General Q, General Mark, and all them badass captains in this ISUPK. I mean, we just a phenomenal organization and operating phenomenally in this work. And our nation doesn't fully see it yet, but they're gonna come to see it. The Lord is doing it every day. In the second half of this show, we're gonna talk about the QAnon. We're gonna talk about the Proud Boys leader being an FBI agent. We're gonna also talk about the GameStop conspiracy when they went up in there and bankrupt them hedge funds for $5 billion. These Edomites is at war with their people. And in that war, they revealing all the dirt. And it's going to wake black people up, and they're going to start to move their hope away from the kingdom and start to really seek the Lord and try to understand the Bible. What we were doing, we were so before our time through the grace and mercy of the Lord. Like through the mercy of the Lord, we was way before our time. And because of it, now we are prepared and set for whatever the Lord's will is that's necessary for this nation of Israel, man. And it's an amazing, beautiful thing. But I don't want to take away from the story. Big shout out to General Haas on those kind words, brother. I appreciate it.
Most High Christ, sir. So you deserve it. Slack, sir.
Right. Most High Christ.
If I could just briefly, one other thing, just that same strength that was just brought up, right? When you see black and Hispanics in their right state of mind, just to also piggyback off what Captain Mashak said and what General Q said, is that they know that even during sharecropping, coming straight out of slavery, they saw Paradise Valley in Detroit.
Yep.
They saw Black Wall Street.
Yep.
They saw Seneca Village.
That's right.
They saw Rosewood. And what they see is, even if you look at them saying, you understand, like treating us like we have a lack of humanity, they see a competitor that they need to crush.
That's right.
They know that if they leave us alone, we will rise up superior and beyond all of them. Right. And that's why he sees that, and even instinctively in his soul, he says, I need to break this family up.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. And he was a journalist. So he saw a lot. But he still had to tell her how he could see the bigotry in him come up. And coming before, and listen, even for a white man to come before in her later days, to come before Cicely Tyson and say that, it was damn near like a confession. Because he felt guilty for it. That's why he used the term bigotry. Right. Anyway, let's get some more, man, because we're gonna go into T.I. and Tiny and their whole thing as well. Go ahead.
He felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your older son referring to his father as daddy. I said, you have children, what do they call you? He said, they call me daddy. And I thought, my God.
They call him what?
Daddy.
So he the big daddy. He big daddy in the big house. I see where he was coming from.
Go
ahead, up.
And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress, and that I would use my career as my platform.
Namely, you want black people to be seen as human beings.
That's right.
What gives you hope?
Go ahead,
Mashak. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
She really cut that thing off, and they're trained to do that, just like that reporter was trained to go ask her that thing or say what he had to say. Right. Because now, I'm not going to afford the luxury of just being an actor. You just want black people to be seen as people. No, being seen as people is not justice for 400 years of damn slavery, man.
That's right.
You and I paying. Listen, the Jewish man after the Holocaust didn't want to just be seen as a Jewish man. He wanted the Iron Dome. He wanted his own country. He wanted his own military, and he wanted the world to remember, never forget. We don't just be seen as people, man. Justice had to be served, but this. Oh my gosh, boy! This woman here is diabolical. She is insane with the thing where he just cuts her off. You just want us to be seen as people. No, that ain't it.
And if I could, Mashak, her response was as though she was not black.
Right.
She said, so you just want black? She asked if she framed it like a question. She said, so you just want black people to be seen as human? And Cicely Tyson, she's 96. She said, yeah, of course. But what she probably wanted to say is, I want us. When she was going to cut her, she said, I want us to be looked at as human. So she tried to dismiss herself and just be a journalist against the question, when, of course, it's too much.
General, if I could.
Go ahead, Salakia.
No, General, what you've been saying is so heavy, because that's been a reoccurring theme with right now with everything that's been going on is the word humanity. And just to see how Gayle King tried to, once again, like journalists do, try to shape the narrative about, you know what I'm saying, about us. It's just, like you said, it's mind-boggling. Like you see how she's trying to, you know, change the whole narrative. Like it's what she's saying is what she experienced.
Right.
And Gayle King is so, this is why we got to be spiritually amputated from these types of people among us.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they are a cancer to us. They are a cancer to even just, you know what I'm saying? Because they will use people like Gayle King to say, to have a counter argument on humanity or on justice. So I just want to say this. So
yeah, true. True.
That was the most part of the interview. The other half, they ask her about her marriage to Miles Davis.
Yeah.
And you know, she goes on to talk about how, well, there was abuse, and yes, there was this, and yes, there was that. So Gayle is asking her, well, you know, why would you stay? And she's telling Gayle, like, that's what marriage and love is. There's crazy, and there's the good times, the bad times, and there's crazy. If you don't go through that and build your marriage with your husband, then you don't have nothing. And like you could see it's so foreign in concept to what she's saying.
You might have to play that part.
Oh,
if you can find that one part, you might have to play that little part.
Oh, okay.
Because of course, and once again, of course, just like we've been saying, the real mission and the reason she bringing it up, and probably the whole reason she even having an interview, is to be able to come back and say, is to talk about the Miles Davis part. Because of course, they want to demonize that black man.
Yeah.
Man, like a black woman standing up for a black man brings pure hatred on America when it is so necessary. I mean, imagine you being Miles Davis coming up in the era that he came up in. Now, she already just talked about how she was almost raped. Could you imagine? Now, remember Ann talked about how a journalist didn't even like the fact that a child was calling him daddy. Could you imagine being Miles Davis trying to have a career in music in back at that time? You stand at the one that this white man, a liberal because he's a journalist,
right?
The one that the journalist don't want your child calling you daddy in front of him. You got to go to this animal, a worse animal than him, to get your music played, for you to have performances. You understand? Half the shit he went through, Lord knows if he could even be in a relationship after that. They said, and I don't know if this is in his autobiography, but I was told this, that Miles Davis would be playing to the crowd and he'd look out on the audience and see it being all white people. And the more they loved his music inside, he would never bring it out, but inside he hated them more. And they said at one point he would turn around, turn his back to the audience and be playing. And they thought, the audience thought, the white people thought that it was just a artistic thing.
Right.
Like you could turn around. But they said Miles was turning around to say to them, kiss my ass. And my black people, this is what I was told from people that know, okay, that he was to say these type of things when he went to Harlem. I can't guarantee he said it. I don't know if it's in his autobiography, but he was very, very bitter. You understand? And then him being a dark-skinned black man, which was damn near like a double taxation by these Edomites. They demonized us, and Sicily being dark too.
Right.
He was doubly taxed by these Edomites, who, of course, you know, are Edomites. We all know how they operate. So could you imagine? But I still wouldn't mind hearing her response to this beast. Yeah, there it is. See him? See, he's back to the audience. That's it, back to the audience, right? And they couldn't understand.
He's doing that work.
Right.
He found that.
And get up in the audience. I mean, get away from the audience and turn his back on the audience. And they said Miles did that because he was angry that these Edomites loved his music and that black people couldn't even come and afford to come to the concert. He would walk away as a jester. This is what was said. You know, man, could you imagine trying to become a superstar in that world?
Wow.
You imagine that during that time?
So, like a general,
please.
And I heard something similar with Louis Armstrong, aka Satchmo out of New Orleans. I've heard that you know what I'm saying, that, you know, through the grapevine. I still got to do research on it, but he had some kind of animosity because of how they treated him during that era and how they tried to take credit for jazz in that era. You know, on the jazz scene.
And if I could, on Satchmo, they came out. There's you can probably Google this. There is a cartoon character that they made of Satchmo, where they made him a gorilla playing a saxophone.
Khan.
Or a trumpet.
In Jungle Book.
In Jungle Book. Right. I mean, that's what they did to Satchmo. You know what I mean? So could you imagine the uphill battle we was dealing with to deal with that, which is so why Martin Luther King sent all these brothers to their mental destruction. Even right there, you could tell Miles Davis there was high out of his mind. He could barely stand up. He bumping into stuff. He's stumbling while he on the stage because most of the time they were drugged up either by some Edomites that drugged them up, or some government experiment with LSD or something else, or just from the sheer racism they had to face day in and day out. And that should never be lost, man, because in Christ's kingdom, none of that is going to take place. In Christ's kingdom. Salaki.
Khan.
May, sir.
Please, y'all, jump in.
Khan, sir. For me, just piggyback of what y'all was saying, Captain Tazaryak also brought out too as well when he was in the interview with that other Egyptology cat about how we after Martin Luther King, well, not after Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther King's movement, what we did was trade in our family structure for economics. He was saying like how our family structure is destroyed through integration, and it just plays out today. Even though back then they would do buck breaking and all that to take away the masculinity of the man. The man is the structure of the household. He's what gives the family strength. Like give your son strength to be a man. He bring the daughter upright on how to be a daughter and have morals on what to do and what not to do. And if they take that away, then you're gonna end up with whores and drug dealers and people that'll do anything for money, sir. If I may, I just wanted to piggyback that too.
Listen, so true, Ox. So true. And if I could add a little piece more to what you're saying,
sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who's that, Haas?
I think it's his thing freezing.
Okay.
Haas, you there?
Yeah, we back. Come on, I can hear everybody.
What I was gonna say is that another piece to the puzzle as well was how when after the war, when so many black men were destroyed and maimed and messed up in the Vietnam War, how when they came home, when they were gone, how black women, for them to get welfare, had to have no man in the house.
Right.
Remember that? Like that goes right along with what Morale was saying that Captain Tazaryak was bringing out. Like we had to trade, those black women had to trade their husbands for some food and milk from this beast.
Right.
You had to get rid of your husband so that he could now be your daddy with them funds. And brother, over all these years, he had a lot of time to destroy our family, to where now it's fully enveloped in the black woman's mind that you don't need no man, and that the bigger career, here's the mindset that they putting out on sisters now, that the bigger move is to forget about a man and focus on a career. And then, of course, now we finding out all the women who got brothers on child support, who went after their career, all of them now is turning 35 and 40. And now they all saying they can't get a man. They can't get a man. They got big jobs. They making big money, but they can't keep a man at home. They don't have a man, or he don't meet their standard, or whatever brainwashing event is taking place inside of them that's destroying their whole, somebody keep hitting their mic, who's destroying their whole situation. And that comes from Esau, from years and years and years of Esau working on us to separate our women from our men, and to put our men in a position where they could never not be over the household, man. Go ahead, Doc.
Come on. I'm gonna play the rest of what you.
Please, if you could get that point. What's that? What was that we was hitting? What is that?
I think it's just maybe movement, the mic picking up something.
Okay, maybe the table with Mirage.
Maybe everybody else could just mute their microphone until they're ready to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things in my day that, black women never really talked to each other about helping each other out. If we got a call for a job, we would run and hide. We were afraid it would be taken away from us. And I see that we're opening up to each other and we're working together, and that's what we need. In unity, in only unity, there is strength.
Tyson came up among a generation of black artists who exemplified black excellence. But beyond their impact on American culture, they were held together by the deep bonds of friendship. And she reflected on their loss over the years.
A big shout out to Cicely Tyson, man, for holding down that torch, supporting brothers and making brothers, giving brothers some strength, you know what I'm saying?
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Be strong in the spirit of the Lord. Hey, listen, if you like this tape, hit the like button and share it, man. Hit the share button. Everybody share it to their own personal Facebook accounts. Share this video, man, to wake up brothers and sisters all over this earth. Hit the like button. Check me out Monday night. I'm live every Monday night. I bring the heavy hitters in. We do it up live right on this same channel. I'll see you then, Israel. Y'all take